The older brother of Kukaku and Ganju Shiba, Kaien Shiba is a character who has a very minor appearance within the Bleach story, but despite this, he has left a lasting impression on fans of the series. This is in part due to his tragic backstory, the bond that he forms with his subordinate Rukia, as well as his warm and big-hearted personality that makes you really adore his character. The values and morals that Kaien adopts into his character are seen throughout the entirety of Bleach, whether if this is echoed in Ichigo's fight for honor against the Grand Fisher, similar to how Kaien was fighting against the parasitic hollow that had killed his wife, as well as the theme of the heart that he instills within Rukia that she carries on forward within the Hueco Mundo arc, when she faces off against the Espada Aranero Aranieri, who has taken over the body of Kaien Shiba. But after remembering Kaien's words, Rukia is reassured that the memories and bond that she had formed with Kaien are within her heart, and no matter how the Espada tries to soil the memory of Kaien, this fact will never change. So let's begin my deep dive and analysis into the character of Kaien, breaking down and explaining everything that we know about him and the long-lasting impact that he has on Bleach as a whole. Before the video begins, only 20% of the people who actually watch my content are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy these videos, then subscribe and stick around for more content just like this. Now let's get back to the topic of the video. Kaien makes his debut appearance within chapter 83 of the manga and in episode 25 of the anime. Within the present timeline of the story, he is one of the most infamous deceased Shinigami. He had held the position of the lieutenant of the 13th division under his captain Ukitake, that is until his untimely death at the hands of the hollow that had killed his wife, Miyako Shiba. We are properly introduced to the character of Kaien through the admiration that Rukia has for him, and how she regrettably thinks back to his untimely demise several times throughout the Soul Society arc. Now, in terms of his appearance, you won't be the first one to think that he resembles Ichigo, as Byakuya and even Ukitake have alluded to Ichigo resembling Kaien. His most notable physical features are his aqua green eyes, as well as his spiky black hair. In addition to this, Kaien also proudly wears a tattoo of the Shiba family crest on his arm. Kaien was an adamant believer of Ukitake's philosophy of fighting. We know that the 13th division believed that there are two types of fights, the first being the fight to protect a life, and the second being a fight to protect honor. Kaien in chapter 268 further elaborates upon this, as Kaien states that both of these fights have one thing in common, and that is the heart. The heart of an individual is determined by what they are willing to fight for and what they desire to protect. He had also believed that the heart is born between two individuals who connect with each other. He had thought that there was more to the heart than its physical form. He had believed that it existed in a metaphysical sense, as a byproduct of when somebody thinks back or remembers you. One of the last lessons that Kaien had instilled within Rukia was that the heart that is born between people exists within them, and that you should leave your heart with your loved ones. Because of his beliefs about the heart, he had held a view that you should never die alone, because even after death, you continue to live on in the hearts of people. In terms of his personality, Kaien was a very gentle, kind-hearted individual. His light-hearted nature perfectly complemented his captain Ukitake, who was of a very similar disposition. But despite this kindness, this never got in the way of his sense of duty, as he was very proud of being a Shinigami of the Gotei 13, and it is because of the way that he was that he leaves such a lasting impression upon all of the members of the Gotei 13, who remember him fondly, this being proof that his heart continues to live on in the people that he has impacted, even beyond his death. Being Rukia's mentor, he had reassured and supported her, especially in moments when she was doubtful whether if she deserved to be within the Gotei 13. In chapter 134, Kaien had told Rukia that as long as she is in his division, he will stand by her even if he dies. He had made her feel welcome within the 13th division and helped to grow her confidence as a Shinigami. So let's now talk about everything that we know about Kaien's appearances within the manga. In chapter 83, we learned that Kaien had decided to become a Shinigami, and he had quickly passed his entrance exams into the Shinigami Academy. Similar to individuals like Hitsugaya and Genichimaru, Kaien was dubbed as a prodigy, as he completed the 6-year course of the Shinigami Academy within 2 years. And not too long after this, in the Turn Back the Pendulum arc, we see that Kaien had become a member of the 13th division. During this flashback arc, we see Kaien being approached by Ukitake, and he had offered him to become his lieutenant at the time, but Kaien had declined. And this emphasizes Kaien's very humble nature. He had declined Ukitake's offer out of respect for others, as he had felt that they may be more qualified than he is. He also didn't like to refer to himself as a prodigy strategy, despite his incredible achievements and how quickly he rose up through the ranks within the Gotei 13. In chapter 83, we learned that it was 5 years after he had graduated the Shinigami Academy that he had taken on the position of the lieutenant of the 13th Division. When Rukia had first joined the 13th Division, Kaien had scolded the other members of the division who were teasing her upon her arrival, because Rukia was adopted into the Kuchiki family, so she was exempt from the graduation exam and had immediately enlisted into the Gotei 13. He had confidently introduced himself to Rukia, but when she responds with a simple hello, he scolds her, questioning what kind of a greeting is that. He teases her that he is the lieutenant of the division and that she needs to be more formal in her response. His bright-eyed smile and laid-back nature had reassured Rukia. He had welcomed her to the 13th Division and had proclaimed that he runs the show, and that he'd forgive her if she had mistakenly referred to him as Captain Kaien from now on. One day, when Rukia had a troubled expression on her face, Kaien had approached her. Upon questioning if she was okay, he realized that she wasn't going to tell him what was bothering her, so he decided to reassure her by telling her that as long as she is in his division, then he will stand by her even if he dies. Rukia had thought to herself that it felt nice being around Kaien. Kaien was married to the third seated officer of the 13th Division. She was called Kaien Shiba. She was wise, kind and beautiful, and somebody that Rukia had looked up to and wanted to be like. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was Rukia's idol. Tragedy had struck one day when Miyako was killed by the hollow Metastasia. Her body had been brought back by the 13th Division with the shocking news that her entire unit was annihilated. Despite not knowing anything about the hollow, Kaien responds by going out to search for it. He states that he doesn't care whether if he knows the abilities or powers of the hollow. He's not going to sit here and wait. The fact that this hollow had killed his wife is all that he needs to know. In chapter 135, when they arrive at the nest of the hollow, Kaien tells Ukitake and Rukia, who have accompanied him, that he wants permission to fight the hollow on his own. Ukitake understands the feelings of his lieutenant and grants him his request. He asks Metastasia how many Shinigami has he eaten. When it responds that it can't remember, he questions whether if he regrets consuming Shinigami. The hollow states that he has feelings like Shinigami do, and that he had felt regret as recent as last night, as he had regretted not eating the rest of that female Shinigami. He is of course referring to Kaien's wife. It is at this moment that Kaien immediately draws his Zanpakuto and strikes the hollow. However, after he grabs one of the hollow's tentacles, his Zanpakuto disintegrates. We learn that the hollow has an ability that works once a night. The conditions are that the first Shinigami to touch his tentacles will have their Zanpakuto destroyed. It is then that the hollow takes the upper hand against Kaien. Kaien has no choice but to fight against the hollow with his bare hands. When Rukia attempts to assist him, Ukitake holds her back, reminding her that Kaien's pride is on the line. He tells Rukia that Kaien is fighting for the honor of his fallen men and the honor of his deceased wife. It is for this reason that Ukitake had allowed Kaien to fight this battle on his own. Kaien is also fighting for his own honor. It is his own pride that is on the line here, and it is for this reason that they cannot defile his pride by assisting him. It is a true testament to Kaien's talents as a Shinigami that he survived so long against Metastasia without a Zanpakuto. He tells the hollow that his abilities of Kido are more than enough to take him down, but it is then that the hollow utilizes another one of its abilities called Spirit Body Fusion, as it fuses itself with the body of Kaien. After this, the whites of Kaien's eyes turn black, as the hollow that has possessed Kaien now looks at Rukia as his next target. The hollow disfigures the face of Kaien and uses his body to attack Rukia. She ends up being defended by Ukitake, who tells her to run. The hollow tells Ukitake that it is hopeless to come up with a way to separate him from Kaien's body. This is unlike human possession. Because Kaien is a spiritual entity just like the hollow, it means that when two spiritual entities fuse, they cannot be separated. When the hollow states that it will spend the entire night eating the spirit of Kaien from the inside, Ukitake states that it cannot be helped. He will kill Kaien along with the hollow himself. Ukitake refuses to let the hollow have control over Kaien's body any longer. When Ukitake's illness gets the better of him, the hollow attacks him and manages to escape. It is at this moment Rukia returns to the battlefield without a plan. She had told herself that she couldn't run away and that she had to save her lieutenant. Ukitake orders Rukia to kill the hollow, telling her that he isn't Kaien anymore. Upon exclaiming to kill him, Rukia impales her Zanpakuto through Kaien's chest. In his dying moments, Kaien holds onto Rukia as he thanks Ukitake for letting him fight alone. He then apologizes to Rukia for getting her into this mess and that she must have been scared. Before he dies, he thanks her, and just like he had taught her before, he feels content that he can leave his heart behind with her, knowing that he will always live on in the memories that they had formed together and the impact that he had had on not only Rukia but the entirety of the Soul Society. After the death of Kaien, Rukia has trouble ridding herself from the responsibility of it, because she had used used her blade to kill him, she feels like she was responsible, when in actual fact there was no way to save Kaien, and Ukitake in fact had ordered Rukia to kill him. Thinking back on the death of Kaien was one of the main reasons that Rukia had felt that she was not worth saving during the Soul Society arc. In chapter 115 we learned that it was Rukia who had taken the body of Kaien back to the Shiba family home, as Ganju, who was a child at the time, says that Rukia's face is etched into his memory, referring to her as the Shinigami who had killed his brother. In chapter 267 we learned that Kaien's body, along with the hollow that was inside it, ended up decaying and had returned to Hueco Mundo. It is here that they had been devoured by Aranyaro and had become a part of him, thus explaining how Aranyaro is able to take up the form of Kaien Shiba during the Hueco Mundo arc, and how he is able to recall all of the memories that were formed between Kaien and Rukia when he had attempted to convince Rukia that he is the real Kaien Shiba at the start of their encounter. In the end, neither could the hollow Metastasia or Aranyaro tarnish the memory of Kaien. His memory had continued to thrive within the hearts of all of his loved ones, and because of the way that his character was written, Kaien Shiba also had left a part of his heart within us, the reader, thus explaining why this character, who has such a short-lived appearance within the manga, is so memorable and beloved by fans of Bleach. Both in life and death, Kaien was honorable, and he had died fighting for the sake of the honor of his fallen comrades and his wife, and before his death he was even able to apologize to Rukia for causing her so much trouble. In the Bleach character data book Souls, Kubo makes a comment on Kaien, as he describes Kaien as somebody who values friendship above everything else, and his spirit of kindness lingers on even today within the Soul Society. This is a testament to the legacy and impact of this character. The former vice captain of the 13th Division, who is beloved by many, Kaien Shiba lives on in the hearts of all of those who adore him, and it is at this moment that I hand over the discussion to all of you. What did you think about the morally righteous Kaien Shiba? Do you remember his character as fondly as I do? I would love to hear your thoughts about his character and his impact that he has on the entire Soul Society, so definitely leave a comment under this video and continue the discussion. If you have any other characters from Bleach that you want me to break down and analyze, then let me know. I really enjoyed researching and making this video, and I want to thank you for once again making it to the end of another character analysis, and I can't wait to see you in my next Bleach video. If you enjoy my content, then you can support my channel through Patreon for as little as $1 a month, or even through YouTube by becoming a channel member. You will gain access to exclusive channel perks and a Discord server which I frequently use. So become a member of my Zero Division and be the first to know about my upcoming videos. And once again, thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.